Yes guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode number 26 and the season finale of season 2 of our EAFC 26 career mode here with Werder Bremen. 4 games left of the season and you can see those fixtures in the background, with the most difficult one looking on paper like it is going to be that second game of the episode at home against Bayer Leverkusen. But we are sitting pretty at the minute in 5th place after those 2 wins and a draw in the last episode. Still got the chance to drop down to 7th, still got the chance to get into those Champions League places in 4th. So it's going to be an interesting episode, so make sure you stick around to the end to see where we do end up this season. But we start off this episode and the end of the season with the first of 4 games of this episode away from home against Werder Berlin. Like I say, we could possibly get top 4. Obviously Leipzig are there at the minute, 2 points ahead of us, so we need to make sure we stay perfect in order to get ahead of them. But we also need to make sure we stay perfect to stay ahead of Wolfsburg in that Europa League spot and not drop down to the Conference League spot. And that was all going to start in this game against Werder Berlin. We got the first early opportunity there, good ball across from Bangula and a decent chance for Shuto Machino from close range, but a good reaction save from a goalkeeper to keep that on. And from a resulting corner, Machino did manage to get his first goal of the game just 6 minutes in. The corner in from Bangula and Shuto Machino was there with his head to put us into that 1-goal lead. But Werder Berlin came back, they got a really good opportunity there, some good feet from the attacker to get through the defence, but a good save from Cole Hein. But then it was all about us. Teran Moffi on the ball to the left-hand side to Bangula. Bangula sees Machino in space, has to stretch for it a little bit, but no doubt that Shuto Machino was going to score there, and he does manage to get ours and his second goal of the game, his 23rd of the season in just 31 games, in his first season for the club since we brought him in from Borussia Mönchengladbach, and we are 2-0 up in this one. And then just past the half an hour mark, it's Bangula once again down that left-hand side, been absolutely crucial here, really good ball in. Goalkeeper thought about coming out, didn't decide to come out, and Shuto Machino beats the defender in the air, and in just 33 minutes, Shuto Machino, who's got a hat-trick, and put us into a 3-0 lead in this one. And hopefully it should be one that we can keep in place and not lose this game. And just for half-time, Werder Berlin did get a chance there, but once again it was Cole Hein, obviously wanted to keep a clean sheet, and he did manage to keep that one out. And from resulting corner, bit of a mix-up here, Friedel should have just hit that one and cleared it out. Luckily Cole Hein was on his toes once again and did manage to dive at the feet of the attacker and push that one out for another corner kick. And then the second corner comes in, again it's Rogel who gets a header, but this time just over the crossbar and no further danger from him. So we did go into half-time with that 3-0 lead, and it was a chance to give us double substitution, Kovic coming on and also Pieper coming on. He hasn't had massive game opportunity this season, but a good opportunity for him to come in towards the end of the season here alongside the young Croatian in Kovic and see what they can do. And it's Kovic who picks the ball up on the right hand side here, gets a really good cross, and Teran Moffi with a great chance with a header, but a really good reaction save, sticks a leg out and a really good save from a goalkeeper. And then we did decide to take the hat-trick man off, get him a round of applause, and it is Salim Musa who does come on for him. And Machino, what more can we say about Shuto Machino since he's come into this club? Absolutely exceptional, top scorer in the league at this point, and another hat-trick in this game. But we did obviously need to make sure we saw out these last couple of minutes. Cole Hein with another good save to keep that clean sheet, and then from resulting corner we do manage to get the header out. It's Musa who picks the ball up, and then a wild challenge from the Werder Berlin defender, dives in late, doesn't get the ball, gets all of a man, and Zifowik does get a red card. Only 3 minutes left, so it's not going to give us time too much to take too much advantage of it. But obviously Werder Berlin down 10 minutes does put us at ease in the sense that they are unlikely to come back from this one and get anything from this game. And all that was left to do was for the referee to blow his full-time whistle. Musa gets a header from a goal kick, gets picked up by the Werder Berlin defender, but then the referee does blow that full-time whistle, and we do come away with a 3-0 win. So a really good start to these final 4 games on that push to potentially get Champions League, but definitely into the Europa League, and a hat-trick for Shuto Machino once again. But unfortunately there was bad news, and the reason that Pieper did come on in that game was that Mitchell Weiser did pick up an injury, and it is 4 weeks for a pulled quad, and he is likely to be out for the remainder of the season. He might possibly make it back for the last game, but we'll have to see on that one, but likely out for the rest of the season. And we do get confirmation that obviously Diego Leon's loan deal is going to be expiring from Manchester United, so we'll have a look at that one towards the end of the season. But we had no time to waste and we had to jump straight to second game. And like I said at the start of this episode, this was on paper going to be the most difficult one. Leverkusen, they're only two places ahead of us in 3rd position, but the points tallies a massive difference, and we know how good Bayer Leverkusen are, so we knew we had to be on our top form. And if this was a real test of this one as to whether we would be able to see out our form towards the end of the season or not. And we did make that change with obviously Wiese coming out from his injury and the young Argentinian centre-back but playing right back Malatini coming in in for that cover. But unfortunately, it was Leverkusen who got the early goals. Ben Seguir, just 5 minutes in, a good low finish from him to give them the early lead. But we weren't going to hang around, and this is a mentality we want from this team. Straight from kickoff, we do go straight into the attack. Tom Roth picks up the ball on the left-hand side, plays it back to Friedel. Friedel plays it back to Tom Roth on that left-back position, plays it forward into Jens Stark, the experienced midfielder, plays it outside to Bangula, who's been in absolutely fantastic form recently. Really good whip ball in that left foot, and Shuto Machina with a looping header does beat the Bayer Leverkusen goalkeeper. So as soon as we concede, we do come back and score straight from kickoff, and it is that man once again. Who else would it be but Shuto Machina to pick up that goal? But Leverkusen started really coming on to us at this point. A really good shot there, but a good reaction save from Cole Hein. And then just a couple minutes later, the throw in on that left-hand side falls into Patrick Schick here. He looks to play the pass into Alex Garcia, plays it back to Ben Seguir, the goal scorer from the first goal, and an unbelievable finish from Mensah in off the underside of the crossbar, curls that one in right into that top corner. Cole Hein had absolutely no chance, and Jeremiah Mensah gets his first goal of the season and the second goal of this game for Bayer Leverkusen to give them that lead back. And then Palacios with another really good chance 30 minutes into this one, but once again a good hand stuck out by Cole Hein to push that one behind foot of corners. Alex Garcia, the Spaniard, looking to swing this one in with his right foot, plays it in, it's towards Patrick Schick, but well held by Cole Hein. Looks to set the attack off early, gets a big kick upfield towards Terem Moffi, looking to get that flick on. You can see Bangula making a run there, but unfortunately couldn't get it. Falls back to the Leverkusen players, it falls back into Mensah, the goal scorer of the second, falls into Ben Seguir, and unfortunately Ben Seguir gets his second goal of the game and puts Bayer Leverkusen in a 3-1 lead just half an hour into this game, his 6th goal of the season. And again, the quality of Bayer Leverkusen, although there's plenty of time left in this game, we knew it was going to be a really difficult one to come back from, but we were going to give it our best shot. Terem Moffi picks the ball up here, plays into Schmidt, a really good shot from Schmidt to be fair. Goalkeeper wasn't expecting it, but does manage to make the save and tip it over for a corner. And then in added time, Schmidt once again gets the ball on that right hand side, beats the defender. Terem Moffi's in the middle, but unfortunately another good reaction save from a goalkeeper to keep the scores at 3-1 going into half time. But we did come out better of the two teams. Machino gets a chance straight away in this second half, and a good finish low underneath the goalkeeper to get his second goal of the game and cut that deficit to just 1 goal, and it gives us an opportunity to potentially get something out of this game. But unfortunately it was Bayer Leverkusen who just went on a rampage at this point. Patrick Schick picks up the ball, plays it into Hoffman. Schick gets the shot in the end, but a good save once again from Cole Hein. But unfortunately, just off the ball and just a bit of a late challenge, there was a penalty given away, and it was the captain Marco Friedel who was the culprit of this one. You can see from replay, just a late challenge on Patrick Schick, and there was no doubt about it that it was definitely a penalty. And it is the Argentinian Ezequiel Palacios stepping up for this one, looking to send Cole Hein the wrong way. He does exactly that, puts it low to his right hand side, and gives Leverkusen that 2-goal lead once again, and a 4-2 scoreline at this point. And like I say, with quality Bayer Leverkusen have got, any chance to get back from a 2-0 scoreline was going to be difficult, and it got made even harder with a really good finish there, curling in that left foot past Cole Hein for Patrick Schick's first goal of this game, and to give Bayer Leverkusen a 5-2 lead, his 11th goal of the season for the Czech Republic international. And it was only going to get worse. Alex Garcia with a good ball into Hoffman, and Hoffman makes no mistake from that one, keeps it low into that bottom corner, and gives Bayer Leverkusen 6 goals in this game and a 6-2 lead with just 15 minutes left in this one. And there was no doubt about it that this game was definitely going to go down as a loss for Werder Bremen. At this stage, it was just really about how many it was going to be. Mensah gets another good chance to get his second, but a good deflection from Cole Hein to put that one behind for a corner. And then the corner coming in from the Spaniards once again. Alex Garcia swings this one in with his right foot. Hincapié gets the header. Fortunately, Tom Roth gets the ball. He makes a bit of a mess of it. The shot does come in eventually from Patrick Schick, but once again, Cole Hein, good reactions from him to keep that one out. But unfortunately, it was another corner that was coming in. It's Hincapié once again who it was towards, but fortunately for us, couldn't quite get anything on that one. Terem Moffi picks the ball up, a really good turn against the defender, looking to use his pace, but obviously he is left-footed, needs to look to get that ball in his left foot, does exactly that, curls one in, and a really nice finish from Terem Moffi. Although it's 6-3, we knew this one, 7 minutes remaining, wasn't going to be one we could come back from. It was good for Terem Moffi to get back on the score sheet after a little bit of time, but unfortunately the game was sealed in the last couple of minutes, and it was a 7th goal for Bayer Leverkusen and a 2nd goal of the game for Patrick Schick, and unfortunately that one did go down as a 7-3 defeat. So a massive loss. We knew it was going to be a difficult game, but not that difficult, and puts us really on the back foot going into these last 2 games. And we do get the message there from Diego Leon saying he's been really pleased with his game time here. But looking at the table coming into these last 2 games, we have dropped a position into 6th, 2 points off that 5th position, and unfortunately, well, we can technically still get into that top four, but we'd need a perfect run, and Leipzig and Wolfsburg both to lose both games. So it was looking really unlikely to get that Champions League place, but we were definitely still fighting for that Europa League spot with Wolfsburg, and that started with this home game, the second to last game of the season, the final home game of the season against Bochum, a team which we definitely should be, on paper at least, beating in this one. We did decide to bring Aiden into centre-back, with Rosenfelder dropping out to that right-hand side, obviously in Wiese's absence, and unfortunately it was Aiden who made a mistake here. The ball comes through to Barrow, Aiden just freezes for whatever reason. Coleheim looks to come out to close the gap, gets caught in no man's land, and it gets chipped over him for a 1-0 lead early on for Bochum, just 5 minutes into this one. And this was the worst start possible for us in a really important game, and it got worse just 5 minutes later. 10 minutes in and we're already 2-0 down against Bochum. The fans are on our back at this point. It's Matheus Barrow who gets the goal to give Bochum this 2-0 lead, but obviously we knew we had to have a mentality to come back in this one. Schmidt down this right hand side, he's been looking really good at doing that in recent games, gets the ball in, a really nice header from Terem Moffi, and he manages from point blank range really to make no mistake with that one, puts it into the back of the net and cuts that deficit in half to a 2-1 lead for Bochum. Bochum did keep getting opportunities. Vitek with a good ball in, it falls to Barrow, looks like a really good opportunity, but a good reaction, leg sticking out save from Coleheim to keep that one out. And then about 10 minutes before half time, we do manage to get the equaliser eventually. Starger, not a brilliant shot, it did hit the goalkeeper's leg, but fortunately for us just trickled into the back of the net, and we have managed to go from that 2-0 loss at 10 minutes into this game to bring it back 2-2 with 30 minutes gone, and we got an opportunity to make it 3-2 at this stage. Jens Starger once again, similar position, fires that one in with his left foot, but a good save from the Bochum goalkeeper. So we did go into half time with that 2-2 scoreline. Good opportunity there, but unfortunately the goalkeeper saved it, but a really poor mistake from the Bochum goalkeeper. Terem Moffi reacted, took advantage of a mistake, and we do manage for the first time in this game to get the lead. 3-2 at this stage, 30 minutes left in this one, and now it's all about keeping hold of this lead and not conceding, not drawing, not losing, and getting this victory and getting those 3 points to make that final game of the season a really interesting one. But unfortunately, straight from kickoff, similar to what we did in a previous game where we scored straight from kickoff, it was Bochum this time who did exactly that. Witek picks the ball up eventually, fires it past Coleheim, and as quick as we took the lead in this game, Bochum do manage to come back and get the equaliser. It's Max Witek who gets the goal and brings the scoreline to 3-3. And then just a couple minutes later, really good opportunity once again, but fortunately just whisker wide of the post to keep the scores at 3-3. And then we did decide to make a change. It is that man Schmidt, who's been in decent form over the last couple of games, but we wanted to give a chance to the new youngster from the youth academy, Christopher Urban, on in that right hand side, and he actually played really well when he came on. You'll see some highlights from him in a little bit, but our first opportunity after that was from Bangula. Good run from him, diving through that midfield, gets a shot away, but unfortunately a save from goalkeeper. From a resulting corner, Rosenfelder gets a header. It's Machino who gets the second header, but unfortunately just wide of a post, and unfortunately couldn't quite take the lead in this one. And then just 5 minutes left, the clock was counting down, ball falls in, it's Terem Moffi who picks it up, and Terem Moffi makes no mistake. He was on a hat-trick, and he was going to make no mistake with that one. Really good touch on his chest, really nice finish on that left foot of his after that ball in from Bangula, who has God knows how many assists in these last couple of games, because he's been absolutely on fire for us recently. And Terem Moffi in the last couple of minutes does get us the winner in this one to win the game 4-3, a real back and forth game. But Terem Moffi, the hat-trick hero of this one, does give us all 3 points, and that means in this final game of the season it is all to play for. Obviously we are currently in sort of a losing position of all of them. It does mean that we, like I say, Champions League was going to be difficult. I think at this stage, to be fair, Leipzig won their final game, so it was going to be impossible to get Champions League, but we were still fighting for that Europa League spot with Wolfsburg. We do get confirmation that Weiss is out. Yeah, here's the table now. So Leipzig did win, which means we cannot reach that top four. So we were in pole position for this Europa League spot, but obviously Wolfsburg only a point behind, and that could definitely swing in this last game of the season. And we did decide to make some changes. Seedle coming into right back this time for Wiese, still out injured at this stage, wasn't available to play, and we do decide to put all of our trust in Christopher Urban, the young player who's only recently been promoted from the youth academy to the senior side. On that right hand side, coming in for Schmidt, who, like I say, has been in form, but we wanted to give Urban a chance. He's been impressive since he's come on as a substitute, and it was a good opportunity on the final game of the season, especially prepping for next season as well, to see where he is and how he performs. And it was all to play for away from home against FC in Köln. If we win, we're guaranteed that 5th spot and Europa League football. If we draw, it's all going to depend, and same if we lose, it's all going to depend on how Wolfsburg do. And once again, we got off to a really poor start. 4 minutes in, and unfortunately, Köln do get a penalty. I didn't think it was. Stargard dives in the same time as Köln. Köln picks up the ball. Jens Stargard must have played the player instead of a ball. I think it's a little bit harsh, but unfortunately it was a penalty. We needed to save it, but unfortunately the attacker did send Köln the wrong way and does give Köln that 1-0 lead just 4.5 minutes into this game. It's Marius Bulter, who's been a thorn in our side every single time we played Köln. I remember him scoring in pretty much every game we played against them, and he scores once again to give Köln that early lead, and it does mean we have got off to the worst possible start in this one, in the most crucial game of the season. But we weren't going to lie down at this stage. It's that young man Christopher Urban who picks the ball up, gets it into Machino eventually. Urban down this right hand side, looks to cut inside. He's got absolutely no fear of the youngster, and I was surprised when I saw this. Let me know what you think. The referee points to the spot and gives us a penalty. Now, I'm not going to turn down the opportunity to have a penalty and bring the score back to 1-1. There was a bit of leaning, bit of tussling. Christopher Urban didn't go down or anything. The referee decided to give that one as a penalty. Let me know in the comments what you think of that one. But it was all up to Machino, and he does exactly what Marius Bulter did and sends the goalkeeper the wrong way, sticks it in that bottom right hand corner, and Shuto Machino gets his 27th goal of the season and brings us back to 1-0 inside 10 minutes. And basically that means the game can reset, we can crack on and hopefully win this game. And it's Urban once again who picks up this ball on the right hand side, and this is what I mean. He's been looking really good, a really good ball in, and it's Terem Moffi with a good header, but unfortunately a good save from the goalkeeper to keep that one out. And then just 10 minutes later, it was Köln who got the opportunities. Marius Bulter once again, good shot from him, but just wide of a post, luckily for us. The fans couldn't believe it, and luckily the scores did stay at 1-1. And just before half time, Machino plays into Urban with a chance to score his first goal for the club, but unfortunately it was straight of the goalkeeper, a poor shot. What you sort of sometimes expect from a youngster, a poor shot, and it did manage to stay out the back of the net. So we did go into half-time with that 1-1 scoreline, 45 minutes to win this game. We didn't know what was going on with the Wolfsburg game at this stage either, so it was all about us and all about winning. Unfortunately for us, Köln was in decent form once again and kept that one out the back of the net. And then we did get the chance to get another goal. Christopher Urban once again looking for his first goal still, cuts inside, really nice dribbling on that right hand side from him, gets the shot away, but unfortunately saved by the goalkeeper. And then he gets a chance to exquisite dribbling once again down the right hand side, beats the defender, plays the ball in, and Terem Moffi will make no mistake from that area. And the assist from Christopher Urban on his first start for the club, and Terem Moffi gets into double figures for the season after joining in January and gets his 10th goal of the season and gives us what could possibly be the most crucial goal of this season. And then we did decide at that stage, obviously he is still young, we did decide to take Christopher Urban off and bring Salim Musa on. Terem Moffi moving out to that right hand side as he does, but unfortunately his game didn't last too much longer, and we did decide to bring him off as well as Alvaro, and we brought on the two players which we know will be leaving at the end of the season in Bittencourt and Hans Aaron, to say goodbye to the fans more than anything. But obviously we still had a job to do. It wasn't a sentimental day, we still had to win this game, and there was a good save from Köln originally there, and then another good save from him. As I say, he's been in absolutely immense form this season, and he's been absolutely crucial in this game once again. And we just had 4 minutes to keep hold of this lead and get into those Europa League spots, and then we did manage to get that corner out. Salim Musa looking to get some good feet down here, plays into Bangul, the man that's been in form this second half of the season and been performing so well for us and been crucial to everything we do. Picks the ball up into Machino, but unfortunately the ball wasn't quite quick enough, gets caught on the surface, being a wet surface, and Köln do have the opportunity to break it. Falls into Ake. Ake looks to turn the defender, really good turn to be fair, gets the ball across. Köln, for all he's done this season, makes the biggest mistake in the worst moment. For whatever reason, doesn't pick the ball up, it hits his knee, falls out to Linton Miner, and Linton Miner was there to pick up the scraps. So, like I say, Köln's been unbelievable all season for us, but in the most crucial moment, in added time, the last game of the season, he makes a mistake and means that we do draw this game 2-2, and that is the final game of the season, of the episode. And all we need to do now is find out how Wolfsburg did and whether we managed to reach that Europa League spot or whether we have got into the Europa Conference League. Obviously the players, they've had a really good season compared to where we were last season. They've performed really well, but obviously they're disappointed with not being able to win this game, and none more so than Köln in that goal. We do get £66 million of tournament prize money, but it was all about the finishing position. And unfortunately, you can see in the background, Wolfsburg did win their game, which means we do drop down into that 6th position and into that Conference League spot. And you can just see in the back of on the screen now, obviously the rest of the table, Bochum and Dusseldorf hitting those relegation spots. But looking at ourselves, like I say, say, we've performed so well this season. Compared to last season, it's been absolutely night and day. But unfortunately, we couldn't quite get those highs of the Champions League or the Europa League. And it is just a Conference League. 1 point off that Europa League spot and just 7 points off the Champions League spots. But looking at the stats of the season, Shuto Machino, joint top scorer of the season. No, top scorer of the season, 27 goals, not joint top scorer. Seri Grassi in second with 23. So Shuto Machino, first season, has been absolutely unbelievable. And that's what I was talking about, Bangula. God knows how many assists he got in those last couple of games, but absolutely wipes away the competition. 18 assists. The second best was just 10. So unbelievable from him. And then in terms of the top ratings, Smarklev was up there, but he's only played the odd game. But Bangula was up there, who's played pretty much every game this season, so fair play to him. And just looking at the squad here, we've actually built an unbelievable squad. Karl Hein is up to 80. We've got Vitek as a sub-goalkeeper at 75 as well. Tomra from that left-back position has been unbelievable. Friedel has been, as always, a great leader in that back line. Rosenfeld is growing season by season, and some good performances from youngsters like Aiden and Seedle as well when needed. Alvaro's still been quality for us, a big 6'8" midfielder. Bangula, like I say, probably, if it wasn't for Shuto Machino's goal, Bangula would probably be my player of the season, but I have to give it to Shuto Machino. Obviously, his first season for the club since joining from Borussia Mönchengladbach, managing to get 27 goals this season in just 34 games. And even Terem Moffi, since he's come in January, he's been absolutely unbelievable for us. 10 goals in all competitions for him, and then obviously 8 in all competitions for Bangula. And like I say, the assists, 18 for Bangula is absolutely unbelievable. An average 7.81 rating in the Bundesliga across 33 games is nothing to be sniffed at. I mean, just looking at the contract situation, obviously we know Leon is going to be going back to Manchester United unless we trigger a buy from him. And then obviously we do know that Smarklev still not willing to accept a contract offer, and he is likely to be leaving at the end of the season. But we do get a message from Keke Top. He wants to discuss his contract. He hasn't been a main player for us, so we're not looking to do that just yet. But that is going to bring the episode to an end and the season 2 to an end. And look out for the next episode, because there could be some big news, and make sure you subscribe to the channel to follow the journey. But thank you so far for watching this one. Please hit that like button if you have liked it. Make sure you subscribe to follow the journey. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in a few days.